Good morning, everyone. It's Patty in the AM. I am now on Sundays. It makes my life a little bit easier to be here on Sunday morning. And there's something about the ease of Sunday mornings. This is the day I like to do the quantum healing hypnosis therapy sessions too. It's just I find that there's more of a peace on Sundays because people, even if they don't go to church, I don't go to church. I feel church comes from within my soul. But even if you don't go to church, there's something in us that reminds us of the peace that comes from Sundays, whether it's our grandparents or maybe it was our parents that believed in the day of just being more mindful on Sundays. Or maybe the ideal of, to not work on Sundays. My grandmother was a big advocate, I guess is the best word. She was very religious in the way that she walked the talk. She didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she went to church every Sunday. You didn't speak in anything that wasn't in a holy way in front of my grandmother, and not that she was harsh. She loved us very much. I really honor that. But anyways, let's begin with our Sunday session. Patty in the AM. Today is August 25th, 2024. All right, so today I put up a rather lengthy list. You can find it yourself. It's on the Orrin and DeBen site, and it is qualities that attract and repel abundance. And I put this list up because it's not so much about money to me. It's more about what we attract in life. It's about the people we attract and how they are towards us and how we are towards them. To me, like, if we remember to be very kind with all that we come in contact with, more kindness will come our way. And not only will more kindness come our way, we are raising ourselves up to a frequency where things come easier rather than harder. And it's pretty magical when you allow everything to come to you in that way. But let's, give the list a moment. So you might want to close your eyes for this, because I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to read it to you, I should say, because I've already read it. So I guess that's where the repeat word came from. Below is a summary of the qualities that attract and repel money. Close your eyes and think of a number between 1 and 42. Refer to that number on the list below. For one day, work on developing and attracting quality of the pair below. If you notice yourself doing something that repels money and abundance, simply place a positive attracting thought or action alongside the negative repelling one. So let's see, what came to me is, it's funny, in my head, I didn't mean to because my eyes weren't even closed. I came up with 11, and it says being aware and paying attention, operating on automatic. And I don't know about you, but sometimes we can get caught in operating on automatic pilot, about where we have to be that day, or who we have to work with that day, or what we've set up as a cycle. And, it's important to not get yourself too caught up in a cycle because it becomes a very humdrum life for you before you even know it. All of a sudden you kind of feel fidgety or bored or want to do something new. But let's read the whole list. So number 1, honoring your worth and time versus not honoring your worth and time. Oh, and I wanted to bring up something I put up. It was the image I used with this list. And it says, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. And many of us, when we feel like almost a neck pain. You ever get a neck pain and you might get a stiff neck? And in listening to my higher self, anytime someone has come to me with that stiff neck, it's because they're in conflict with themselves. They're actually disjointed. So the list I'm reading is actually about being in conflict with yourself. When we are in conflict with ourselves and not in the the more loving ways, which are the honoring your worth in time versus not honoring your worth in time, will actually have a headache, a neck ache, and we've become disjointed, like we've almost separated from ourselves instead of being one whole being that is very sure of each step and being, just comfortably placing each step. We might feel stress, we might feel anxiety, we might feel worry. Back to number 2, giving and receiving freely versus not giving or being open to receive. How many of you have gotten into experiences simply because we didn't want to ask for help? We thought we could do it on our own. We might have had to have a lot of stumbling blocks to get through because we didn't want to ask someone to help us out. We might have even got injured on a job project simply because we didn't want to ask someone to hold the ladder. Number 3, opening your heart and closing your heart. Opening your heart is so important to me. When I feel about opening our heart is that's the one we only speak kindness of others. We feel love. No matter how many things we might see that are the opposite of that, we still look for the light. We still look for the goodness. Doesn't mean we need to hang out with those kind of people if they're really unhappy, but we can look for their good and talk about the good that they have. Because when we start talking about what is not good, we're creating more of that for ourselves and the other. The world is very reflective, as what once came through me, probably important to talk about. I was once shown in a higher state of consciousness, meditation, whatever you may refer to as, I was shown, the third eye symbol. And it was interesting because it was shown in the middle of the pyramid, just like we might see on, I believe it's the dollar bill. And all of a sudden, it split in half vertically, and it opened up. And something in me knew to ask what the message was. And it said, all is duality and reflection, even the eye upon self. And that was a very deep message for me to hear many years ago. And it affected me so deeply, I can still remember it verbatim. So there's a lot of things that, happen before us, and we get frustrated with others and the way that they act. But it's coming through us so that we might heal that. And as we heal it in ourselves, we'll see the other maybe become better, or they might fade from our lives. Number 4, expecting the best to happen versus worrying that the worst will happen. I like that one because even the road trip I took down to West Virginia from Rhode Island, imagine how my experience might have been if I thought about the worst things that could happen. Just imagine. But instead, I didn't worry at all. And everything was like glorious. Everything was beautiful. There was, nothing, everything was perfect. It was better than expected. Better than I could have imagined. Number 5, coming from your heart. And versus getting into power struggles. When we come from our heart, that means another example would be those moments when we think we're right and we try and fight the point. Whether we're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Keep it to yourself. If someone needs to figure something out on their own, or maybe we are wrong, it's okay. Don't make a big fuss about it. Doing your best is number 6 versus cutting corners. This is very interesting to me because I think I used to be that person that just wanted to get things done, because I felt like I had so much to do. It was overwhelming. But as I grew over the decades, I found that just makes me feel more frantic and anxious. When I cut corners, things aren't quality. And if I'm doing things that aren't quality work, then I'm expressing from myself that I'm not quality. And maybe others won't appreciate the quality that is in not only my being, but also everyone. So think on those times that someone didn't respect you. It might have been that time that you weren't giving yourself the quality work within you and outside of you that you should have been. But we don't know until we know. And that is a book I'm working on. You cannot know until you know. because it's really true. You can't know until you're completely through an experience. And to just touch on that lightly, think about the times that we look to others and we really want to listen to those who've been through things and came out alive, I guess you could say, or successful, or they're living how you wish you could live, as far as they're happy, they're content, they're financially stable, all those things we're striving to be. Those are the ones that they have gone through it. Someone can read a book to you all they want, but until they've lived it, really lived it, you might not be that interested. Next one is number 7, wanting everyone to succeed, cooperating versus competing. This one's very fun for me because I learned a long time ago that if you find yourself surrounded by successful people, don't be annoyed by them, by how much money they have or how much notoriety they have or how many followers they have. Know that if you're surrounded by those people, it's because something is changing and shifting in your life, that you're going to start doing better. But the moment you repel it and become frustrated by others or jealous, then you put yourself back down to zero and you're going to start up the hill again. Let's see, what else do I have? Oops, sorry, just lost my image. I'm reading off my laptop. Number 8, focusing on how you can serve others versus thinking only of what others will give to you. In what ways can you find that you did something only for, maybe it was the pat on the back, or maybe it was the money you would earn, or maybe it was to be the one that stood out? I can tell you time and time again, if you're doing things for that purpose, it'll fall apart, or you'll be tired, you'll be exhausted, you'll feel like nobody cares, you'll feel like nobody notices all the things I do, nobody, pats me on the back and says, great job. It's because you're coming at it from the wrong angle. Let's see, number 9, telling yourself why you can't succeed. Telling yourself why you can't succeed. That's very interesting. I tell people all the time, because I still have clients who search me out, and I work with them for a little while, and sometimes a little longer, or sometimes it's a short time. Everyone has different needs, I guess, to fulfill, or little things that they need, and some have many, some don't. But I have found that those who need to succeed, I always tell them something I learned a long time ago. It was to suggest something to myself. It was to suggest myself that I am now doing the work that I love. I love it so much it doesn't even feel like love. I am now paid more than I ever dreamed possible. And it was interesting because not only it's not only in my work that it happens, but it happens in all ways, all around me, whether it's not the money part, but that's part of it, but it's just even in the people, how I'm treated by others, and how others respect me, because you don't realize how suggesting something like that to yourself is going to make you go through experiences so that you too walk the talk. You're not doing it on purpose. It's just, it helps you grow. All right, number 10, coming from your integrity versus compromising your values and ideals. Coming from your integrity is something I feel is it's just so important. And to me, it's the ability to say, yes, please, and no, thank you. Like, your integrity, if you, I'm all about, if I've set up, say, I don't know, an appointment with someone, I am going to always be there on time. But it has to be an actual time. I have people all the time that be like, oh, do you have anything available tomorrow? And I can be available the next day sometimes, depending on how life flows. Some of my plans can get canceled, but if that happens, someone can't expect me to be available tomorrow. They need to check in with me. And if I've made other plans, I've made other plans, you know. If, you know, it's just that you can't feel bad about that, or you're just honoring your own integrity. I can only be who I am. And it is important to stand true in your integrity. Next, let's see. In 11, being aware and paying attention. That's the one I started with, and we'd already talked on that one. The first one, that's the number that came into my mind. Number 12, applauding other success versus feeling threatened by other success. I feel we touched upon that as far as when I was talking about others being surrounded by those who are successful versus, you know, feeling threatened by that or whatever it may have you. Because I'm always excited because I know when I'm around people who are very healthy or think good thoughts, or, you know, they are aligned with how I feel. I'm so excited, like it's like almost like I just want to hug them because it's like, woohoo, you know. Anyways, number 13, embracing your challenges versus choosing safety and comfort over growth. I feel like embracing your challenges can come from, sometimes as strange as it sounds, from not asking for help. And, you know, even though it becomes a huge challenge, it could have been a lot easier if we had asked for help. But it's okay, because even that's, you know, it's just part of growth. It's part of your experience. Safety and comfort are those who really want something, really want to do things, but they just can't take that step forward. And because it's scary, it's an unknown. Think of those who have never been outside the state they live in, but maybe they are some kind of curious about traveling, or maybe they've never traveled, so they don't even know that they might like really enjoy it. You know, they stay stuck in that rut, that continuous cycle of working maybe 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And that's okay. Everyone is who they are. Embrace that and remember that and love them just for that. 14, releasing things easily versus hanging on to things. I've found that is really hard when we've had to release a loved one, whether maybe our relationship, the marriage fell apart, or maybe we were fine with it, or maybe allowing our children to go and to grow, or maybe, you know, a job that we had, you know, a hard time with, but we do have to let it go. There's many ways that we can think about letting go, but how do we let go so that it doesn't affect us? I find that if I just suggest to myself or remind myself that it is for my growth, it's because it's something I need to learn about so that I can apply the wisdom and assist others with it. You know, I can't assist anyone with something I haven't been through. It's part of my work. All right, and let's see, the next one is number 15. I won't read them all because I do believe there's 40-something here. But I do want to read and get through some of them because I want, if you have the time, to take some time and to look through it and see where you fit in, even if you can't come up with an imagination of what number pops into your head. It's going through the list and seeing which ones that you identify with. And if you want some assistance with it, you know, you can prompt a question underneath this quote, or I should say post, and I will get back to you. I won't get back to the side ones because that gets into if you want to book a service with me. But if you have a question underneath one of my posts, by all means, put it there and I'll answer it for you all. And, you know, I'm here for you all. But I also have to have that balance in my life. So if you do want to book something, just, you know, message me on the side. All right, and let's see here. Number 15, believing it's never too late, taking action on your dreams, thinking it's too late, giving up. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the lovely lady that I shared a video on, I think her name was Gladys. She's 104 years old. sharp as a tack. And she's still living her life. She's still like, I wonder how many years her practice lasted, because if she's 104, sharp as a tack, and she's still telling people, that she just always looks for the light in life, she doesn't look for the darkness. That's something like, wow, talk about not giving up. And she knew too, and she even mentioned how, to know your purpose in life. Because when you know your purpose, you'll keep living life, because you know that there's something to get up and go after. All right, let's see. Next one is 16. Giving yourself permission to be and do what you want versus waiting for others to give you permission. I find that one is really interesting, because I know I've been through it myself, but you can't see how you're in the middle of it. How many times have we been supporting others' goals, or for them to do better in life, or to support their work, or honor their work, and do everything we can for them, but we get frustrated because they're not doing it for us. It's not that they're not doing it for us, it's just that we're supposed to be supporting ourselves. We're supposed to be supporting our own growth. We're supposed to be the one that says, what do I want to do in life? What makes me happy? What fills me with joy? What gives me that excitement to just get up and go on with my work? Because there is great joy in work. Even I believe it was Henry Ford that said that. Because there is. When you're doing something you really enjoy, there's joy in it. There's just fun. It's good. It's laughter. It's smiles. I love my work. Look how much I smile during even these little broadcasts or little sessions. I love sharing knowledge and wisdom. And my next one is, 17. Believing your path is important versus not believing in your path. I can tell you, believing your path is important reminds me of, there is not a grain of sand out there that is more important or less important than you. Your path, just like that grain of sand, is important. And I remember, think on, when you were in school, I was speaking with my sister Peggy, because we had just went on a little trip together. And I brought up, she didn't remember him, but I did. It was Mr. Luther. He was the janitor, I think maybe in middle school or high school, somewhere in those ages. Might have been elementary. It gets hard to remember. But I believe it was high school, though. And he was always had a smile. There was something about him that just almost I wonder if he whistled too. And I just think that he was always nice to the children. He just had that smile and just kept working. He probably really just enjoyed, I don't know for sure, maybe being able to work around the energy. Think about the children, and being able to just have a smile for that child that might need that smile that day. You never know. Number 18, doing what you love for your livelihood, working only for the money. Oof. I've done that. Have you done that? Have you worked only for the money? And I know we've done it, some of us, or probably a lot of us, especially if you have children, you're trying to make ends meet. Boy, but I can tell you, I know even if you're not doing what you love, try doing what I did. Try suggesting it. Because we are like these computers that whatever you suggest to yourself, good or bad, it becomes you. So suggest something that sounds good. If you want, I can repeat it again. It was, I am now doing the work that I love. I love it so much it doesn't even feel like work. I am being paid more than I ever dreamed possible. And at that time, I think I was probably being paid I don't know, $10, $11, $12 an hour doing gosh knows what I was doing. It's a while ago. Probably a good 20 years. I don't know. I can't even keep track. Anyways, next one is 19, detaching, surrendering to your higher good versus feeling needy that you must have something. That's a tough one. And we feel that when we've lost something or something has separated from us, we feel that we don't want to let go. How many of us that our hands might hurt or your wrists might hurt And sometimes when we have those feelings in us, I remember doing a regression, and a person's hands, they were just like, oh, they were so like, almost like arthritic, cramped up. And during the session that I did, the quantum healing hypnosis therapy session technique, I should say, and it brought a person to their life of which they couldn't hold on to somebody that was going to fall off a cliff. And so in that life, it came forward in this life. And so everything in their life they didn't want to let go of, meaning it was hard for them to let go of their children so that they could go forward in life and have their own lives. You know, they kept trying to tell them how they should live and how they should be, and you know, they didn't know until they knew. But it was so interesting that after the session, they said, "Wow, my hands don't hurt. They're opened up." And to me, it's because, you know, some people say, like, why would you have a quantum healing session? You know, it doesn't make sense to me, because I think that some people have had a bad taste in their mouth about it, that they've seen past life regressions is the older term, but this is something different because it brings you to your higher state. Some people feel the love of all through this state and see the golden light. It's all based on what your experience is supposed to be. I'm the guide. I kind of walk you through whatever you're experiencing. But I can tell you that many have healed through this, and it definitely opens a doorway. All right, let's get on to the next. I think I'm just going to get to maybe 20 of these. The next is 20. Giving to others prosperity, giving to others need. That to me reminds me of being supportive of someone's highest without giving to them in a way that you feel bad. How many times have we felt bad for somebody and bailed them out, and only to find that what we bailed them out from, they're right back at it? That's because we might have felt bad. We might have felt, you know, if we only do this, you know, we'll help them out. But to me, giving to others prosperity is about showing them, without pointing out what you feel they're doing wrong, but by being the example of how we move through things, and that it's okay to go through experiences in life no matter how they appear to others. It's part of your growth. So I'm going to leave us with that number 20. And when you have time, you can go through the whole list, and it's okay if you identify with one. And some you may find that you might have been that person, and you might feel better because you can see how you've grown through it. And that is all I have for this Sunday. If there is anything that you would like to discuss in the future sessions, I am here. Put it in a little message box to me or a little post underneath this video, and we'll get there. We'll get there together. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.